So we are in a series. Anybody know the name of the series? Y'all a little quiet. I have to get y'all a little riled up. Tell me again, what's the name of the series we're in? Y'all look great in your merch. Yes, All Things New. Who enjoyed the first installment of All Things New, The Breaker? Was anybody changed by the message last week? Oh, I'm telling you, it pays to give your life over to a God that'll break you, but he won't break you in the same way people will. He'll break you to heal you. And so if you didn't hear that message, make sure you go and check out the podcast, our YouTube. It has that message downloaded and ready for you to be changed by. I am excited about the word that God has given me today. I believe that it will be life-changing. I'm telling you, if you want to see different results, it would be important for you to choose your way or the way. This is the topic for today. Say your way or the way. These are the two things that we contend with. And so we're going to push into the word. I want us to go on a trip. So we start out, we're in the car, we're riding. Take this trip with me. You in the car, you done packed up, got all your clothes, you're ready for this position, you're ready for this location that you were supposed to be going to. There's this new destination. You're in the car, you're driving, you got your homegirl or your homeboy with you, and they told you they knew exactly how to get to where you were headed. We all in the car, we're feeling good, we got the music turned up, we're on the way and we're riding. Well, along the way, we make one wrong turn and you naturally just say, okay, honest mistake, that was just one wrong turn. And you keep on riding and you're still feeling confident y'all are headed in the right direction, everything's going well. You keep on going, and probably by the third U-turn, you start having some questions. Anybody had questions for those people that were in your car that told you that they knew where you were going, but all of a sudden, it just seems like you keep making the wrong turn. You keep turning around in cul-de-sacs, and they like, oh, no, turn right. That was the wrong road, and I thought we were supposed to go this way. And then all of a sudden, you ask the question, and inevitably, the answer is always the same. Always the same. You ask them, have you ever been to where you said that you know how to get to? The answer is, see, what had happened was, well, I didn't ever actually go there. No, I don't really know where we're headed, but I know somebody that did go there, and they told me this was the way to go. This was the road that they took. There's another passenger that is a little more funny to me. They might not say it like this, but they might say, well, I just thought we were going to feel our way when we got to the stop sign. I think I seen that road mark before. And yeah, I feel like we should turn left or we should turn right. Do you know how silly that sounds? But have you ever had somebody tell you that they were just going to feel their way to where they were taking you? I'm telling you, listen, we live our life like that oftentimes where we're just mumbling and bumbling, hitting roadblock after roadblock, feeling our way to some destination that we think we're headed to. This last passenger is the one that really gets on my last nerves. I don't like when your story change. Mama, you told me you knew how to get where we were supposed to go. And we on the way to get there, and all of a sudden the story changed. We're late. We didn't make it on time to where we were supposed to be, and we end up lost in the wrong location. And all of a sudden you get the epiphany. Well, maybe we should just stop and ask somebody. Oh, ask somebody now, huh? But you said you knew where we were headed. All of a sudden, I feel like it's too many times when we get in the car and we're heading to places and we're not quite sure and we hit these roadblocks and we don't know exactly the road we should take, but we have to stop to get the answer to the question that we should have started with. God, in this beginning of this year, is asking some of these same questions that we were asking the passenger who told us they knew how to get to the destination that they said that they were going to show us how to get to. He says, well, Jackie, do you know even where you're going? And you say, of course, that's us, yeah. Daddy, I heard your word on New Year's. We're going to All Things New Boulevard. We got the address, it's All Things New. That's the location we're heading toward. But the question that he asked next is the telltale question of the day, because I feel like it really brings to light the problem that we have. How do we expect to get to a new location without proper navigation? How do we expect to get to a new place without proper navigation? And God is asking us the same question. How will you plan to get there to this new location? Ask somebody, how we going to get there? In this time of writing this message, I could just hear God saying in his best PT version, like, you can't just hear me. You got to hear me. Like, you know, when the person told you they knew where you were going and they tell you to stop and get navigation, you get an attitude. You pull your cell phone out, you put the address in, and you turn it all the way up because you being petty, because now you want them to know, I ain't going to ever listen to you no more. You turn the navigation up because it's so critical for you to hear exactly the way that you should take. You might get there, but there is a way that you're supposed to get there. And I want to focus on the way that we get to the places that we're headed. Will somebody just push a little further in that there is a way that we should take in the way that God desires for us to go? Yeah, I know all things New Boulevard. That's cool. We got the destination, but the process by which we take is also important. God asks us, he's asking us, how do we get to a new place without proper navigation? And I feel like, although, you know, he's asking us to not just hear him, but hear him. If I just bring y'all into a personal testimony of mine, this past Tuesday, I was walking through life and I woke up really in full recognition of just all the realities that were going on in my life. I'm telling y'all, I woke up, my back was hurting, I'm almost 6 months pregnant, and I was just having an honest moment with God. How many people have honest moments with Jesus? I was all the way there. So I'm like, okay, Daddy, it's Tuesday. My back hurt. I'm tired. I don't even feel like getting out of bed, but there is 101 million things to do for Exhale and this book lunch. I ain't talking about one thing left charity. I'm talking about it's stuff on top of stuff. Like if the book's going to come in, they got problems with the printing, they backlog, all kind of stuff. Like we prayed and fasted for that, all of that stuff that y'all saw to come through. But not only that, God has called me into this new place of giving of myself to this church. And, you know, it take a lot more than what y'all see on Sundays to make all of this stuff work. If y'all didn't know, I want to be the one to tell you. It takes a lot of strategy and prayer and preparation and sacrifice that goes into the back office. And I just want to clap for our staff because I'm telling you, we have been pushing in these past couple months. Thank y'all for rocking with your girl. So I'm like, God, okay, we got Exhale, we got the book lunch. We also have to keep getting prepared for 2019 and know exactly what you want to do in this year. And you want me to write a whole message for Sunday? Like, the only question I had for God was, how, Sway? Like, how am I supposed to get all of this stuff done? What I loved about God's response to me, because he can handle your truth. Did you know that? I don't know if you did know, but God is able to respond to the times where you feel confounded and you don't understand. And so I'm sitting on the bed and I'm like, Daddy, should I get up? Should I lay down? Should I roll around? Like, I'm pretty lost. And he said to me, Jackie, there is no way that you can do any of this without me. Did you hear me? He said that there is no way that you can do any of this without me. And I feel like so many times we start out, we just get up, you know, we got our to-do list, you know. Oh, man, how many people like those lists? You got it all marked out. You're going to check it. Everything's going to be good. But he stopped me in my tracks. And I'm so, so grateful that he did. Because what he helped me to realize quickly was that I was in desperate need of God. And I was going to need his help to be able to accomplish anything that I was to do. I was in need of a God that would show me the way that I should take. I feel like so many times in the body now, you know, just because of how the world functions and it works, we just naturally, you know, I get up and I do this. The only time I consult God is when I'm, you know, in church. I raise my hands and they're up there worshiping and then I'm supposed to listen. But why exclude him from the small things? I know PT was picking at me, but that was a real truth. You sometimes get to the times where you want to know the road you should take, but you haven't trained your ear to hear. So then you don't know him and you're questioning, is that me or is that you, God? You want a different way. You keep saying, Daddy, I keep ending up in these same type of relationships. He's saying, baby, if you will learn to hear me, I teach you the way you should take. This is what God desires. He has to get us to the place where you recognize, okay, Daddy, I took my old way. I went this way last year, but that way Man, it left me desperate. It left me busted, disgusted. It left me without peace, without joy. I don't want to take that way anymore. What I do want to do now is recognize that you are the lamp into my feet. You are the light into my path. And when I get confused, you'll light up the darkness, God. That's who you are. I've gotten to the place sometimes where I did it in my own strength. And in the end, I got left with nothing. I was depleted. And God said, would you allow me to show you the way this time? Would you allow me to do it differently with you? It seems like a simple truth, but when you become aware of your need for God, I'm telling you, it'll change everything. It will change everything. And I believe that the reality or the recognition of your need for God is one of the most significant places you can ever get to when you're with your walk with the Father. I am telling you, I have seen it change the lives of so many. I'll tell you, I was at one flow one day and I was crying out to God. And just as a shepherd of the house, I'm always looking for who it is that God desires for me to pray over and, to just intercede for. And I was praying and I was like, God, I see this person and they are going after you. And I know that they've come this far, but I want their relationship. I want their hallelujah. I want all of it to become more genuine. I want them to know you and your goodness the way I know you. He said something to me that changed my world. He said, a person can never get to that place without understanding their need for me. That seems so small, but without understanding of your need for the Father, you inhibit his ability to be able to step in. And I'm telling you, a life without him moving on your behalf is a life you don't want to have. You need him to step in. You need him to do the thing that you can't do alone. The significance of finding your need for God, one is the fact that he is drawn to our weakness. PT has taught so many times over and over about God's strength is not made perfect in our strength, but it's made perfect in our weakness. And so we boast all the more gladly now because when I'm weak, he is strong. So we feel like, it's when I'm standing and I got it all together and I can make the way that everything is good and I'm strong and, everybody know I got it. But it's when you bow. It is when you go before the Father humbly and broken that you show true strength. When you're able to say, Father, I need thee. Oh, how I need thee every hour of every second of every minute. And if you don't show up, there won't be anything that will be done. That's the different type of life. You talking about all things new. He'll make it new if you start leaning in. He'll make it new if you start leaning in. God is asking us to recognize that weakness is a doorway for him to step in. It's a doorway. We feel like it's a problem, but weakness is a doorway. It's an access point. When he sees that, miracles start happening. You see it all throughout the Bible. Anytime they got to the place, you take Abraham. Abraham is going up. He loves his son, and he is weak, and he is wanting to give back to God what was first given to him. But he's walking up this mountain, and he doesn't know how this sacrifice is going to come. But he just decided to, by logic, make the way. How could God have ever provided the ram? Do you see? The moment you trust him, you are able to see him come in and do a thing that you wouldn't be able to do. God needs our weakness to walk in, to be Jesus for us. And I also want you to recognize that in the times where you take it on and you think you got it, God is not going to step in to do the thing that you feel you can do on your own. You leave no room for him. He said, you want me to step in? Give me a little room. I tell you, I'll show up and I'll show out. And I won't do a little thing. I'll do it exceedingly, abundantly, above all you could ask, think, or imagine. You want me to show up in your marriage? Give me some space. Stop nagging. Stop manipulating. And get down on your knees and cry out, I need thee. Oh, man, I'm telling you, that cry of I need thee is one of the best prayers we could ever pray. But we don't pray it enough. We don't pray it enough. He said, leave room for me. You know the word talks about how he resists the proud, but he gives grace. He gives ability to the humble. I'm telling you, I stood up here in full weakness even before I took the stage. I never try to present something that I won't first eat. And I'm telling you, even before the service started, I was like, oh man, God, 11 o'clock here already? Like, I don't have anything left. This is the unadulterated power of God. I couldn't give y'all anything. I'm telling you, I don't even have anything left to give. But there is a God that will show up in time of weakness. And there is a girl, there is a boy that is in this room that is in need of him. And he won't bypass me, even my mind, even my weakness, even my physical ability, and do just what he said he'd do. That's who we serve. But we act as if we are men and women of the world. He said, don't be conformed to the ways of the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye transformed. Believe what he said. I am a father that I shall not lie. The Son of Man that shall not have to repent. If I said I'll do it, I'll do it. Do anybody believe it? If I said I'll do it, I'll do it. What have you been doubting God about? What have you been waiting for him to show up to do that you've been inhibiting? Baby, my arms aren't too short. No. I'm not a God that can't come through. I am that I am. There isn't even a title that could even describe what I can be for you. All I'm saying is to trust him. All I'm asking you to do is trust him. All I'm asking you to do is trust him. I'm asking you to trust him more than you trust yourself. I'm asking you to trust him more than you trust yourself. Would you get out on that water and walk to him? He said, I bid you to come. Come, daughter. Come, son. Trust me in a way you never have. This is all things new. It ain't the new house. It ain't the new job. It's new faith to believe him. It's new faith to have an ear to hear. Oh, yeah, baby, I'll show up for you. Lean in. I'm going to tell you something you ain't never heard. Oh, you don't need a strategist. You don't need a new marketing planner. You only need me. You only need me. You only need me. Hallelujah. I resist the proud, but I give grace. I give ability to the humble. Hallelujah. I give ability to those that believe me. I give ability to those that believe me. Jesus, would you help us believe you? Jesus, would you help us to believe you in a way we never had? Would you break open our boxes, Lord? Would you take us back to our knees, back to the place where we first met you? Oh, Father, we cry out even in this moment. I need you every hour. I need you if I was a singer, I'd sing that song. Oh, how I need you. Oh, how I need you, Daddy. You never failed me. You never left. You never left. He's a well that'll never run dry. Oh, I can't stop bragging about him because he ain't something I heard of. I seen him work in my life. I seen him do a thing that no man could do. Daddy, you are awesome. You are wonderful. You are awesome and you're wonderful. You are awesome. You are wonderful. Man. God, we give you glory. It is so priceless not to choose God's way. You pay a heavy cost not to go the way that he desires. Can you imagine these people back in the day of the Egyptian day of the Israelites getting ready to go from Egypt to Canaan, getting to the Red Sea, and Moses desiring or deciding, oh, they think I'm the man now. I'm the deliverer. Taking on this posture of pride and not being humble. They get to a impossibility. They're standing at the Red Sea. Can you imagine how detrimental it could be for him not to have leaned in to hear, God, how do we come past this mountain? Yeah, they could have suffered devastation upon devastation, but when he consulted the Father, he made a way that no man could make. Oh, we boast in the fact that the Red Sea was parted and they walked on dry land. But what if he decided that he was just going to choose his logic and his way? Because that's what we do. How many casualties do we pay just because we didn't choose his way. It wasn't that they were not supposed to cross. It was already spoken that they would go to the promised land of Canaan. But even in that, we have a decision to lean into the awareness that, God, I need you. To not go through waters that would drown me when he can make dry land appear. He can make dry land appear. You could be presently looking at something in your life and saying, Daddy, that's too much water. That thing right there might be my demise. And he said, baby, I'll make a way if there's not one to make. Oh, I'll step in and I'll make dry land. I'll part the Red Sea for you. But you got to be willing to consult him. You have to be willing to consult him. We've gotten to the other side so many times, but what condition were you in when you got there? Were you limping when you got there? Were you not believing when you got there? Were you still doubting when you got there? It's not just good enough to get there. The way that you take matters. It matters. It matters to God the way we take. He is the only way to the new life. He's the only way. He's the only way. Hear me. He's saying today, I am the only way. I'm the only way. I know you think that you're smart. I know you think your intelligence will do it. I know you think you can heal you. Can I just share a secret with you? That sin that you feel like is a giant, it really isn't a giant. It's just that you haven't given him room to step into it. You would not keep going through the same thing over and over and over if you would just choose the new way. We all have that choice to open our hearts to allow him to come in to do the thing that only he could do. We get to points where we're looking at our circumstances and our situation, and logically they don't make sense. God, I got more bills than money. Daddy, I got children that need to be taken care of, but you keep calling me to more. Can I testify? I don't even understand, God. Like, how are you going to make provision? How will you call my husband and I to more, but still take care of the things that we care about? He's saying, baby, if you trust me, I'm going to show you how. I'll provide the people that need to surround you to be of a help to you. That's who he really is. And you have to trust his way. Because in my own strength, I can say, no, I'm not going to go. I'm never going to get up and speak because I need to be with my children. But how many lives will hang in the balance of me making my own way and my own decision? You got to count the cost of you banking. You're banking on your logic and not banking on his way. You have to count the cost of that. It is pricey to do it your way. It's pricey to do it your way. I was at this point after I told God all of my stuff. I gave him my list of realities, and we have them. We all have our realities. I didn't understand, God, if I should take the left or right, or should I go forward or what. And God, he whispered. This is why it's so important to train your ear. He said, baby, I don't need your logic. I don't need your way. I don't need any of that. All I need you to do is like Mark 4:9. Would you have an ear to hear me? Would you lean in the times where you would normally lean to yourself? Would you lean in to hear me? Can my voice speak louder than yours? Can my voice be louder than your way and your logic? Would you lean in to hear me? And I'm telling you, it sounds simple, but the peace that I have, because I now lean on his way, because I now lean into his instruction rather than my way, I can't even explain to you the different type of life that I live. God brought this understanding of how important it was to trust his way over my way. And we were walking through Mark 4, and I was like, man, God, Mark 4:9, and that's good. So I've been seeing now, I would show up to the office, and normally we got our Devo and we got the way that we supposed to do stuff. And I just sit sometimes like, okay, God, I know what we normally do, but what you want to do? You know, usually it's like, okay, I'm going to take Jackie away. I'm going to just fix it. And he's like, baby, that way's old. I know that might have worked last year, but this year in 2019, that thing ain't going to work no more. You're going to have to lean in more. You're going to have to lean in more. And so I just got to the place now, like even in 6 for 2, we would just have it. You know, we do songs and we read a few scriptures. He's like, no, I want to do it my own way. Just lean in to hear me. I don't need more theology school. I don't need all of this stuff that I've said I got to do to be able to minister the way he want me to minister. He said, all you need is an ear to hear. And I'm telling you, I believe that's the answer for so many of you. You're looking at problem on top of problem, and I'm telling you, all you need is an ear to hear. Yeah, you need an ear to hear. You need an ear to hear. And then he took me a little further. He said, and after you hear me, I want you to understand that there are some things that will come to push against the word. There are some difficulties that come even after hearing the word that I want you to understand that you might guard yourself against them. We're going to look at Mark 4, 13 through 20 to just identify some of these things that come to steal the word. Because what I didn't understand was we all hear the word, but why doesn't the word become alive in everybody that hears it? Mark 4, 13 through 20 kind of walks us through that. 4 and 13 says, then Jesus said to them, don't you understand this parable? How then will you understand any parable? The former sows the word. Some people are like seed along the path where the word is sown. As soon as they hear it, Satan comes and takes away the word that was sown to them. That's one people. The second in 16, others like seed sown on rocky places hear the word and once receive it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. Still others, like seed sown among thorns, hear the word, but the worries of this life. Anybody know about worries? The deceitfulness of wealth, the desires for other things come in and choke the word, making it unfruitful. This is why it doesn't come alive. Verse 20, others, like seed sown on good soil, they hear the word, accept it, and produce the crop, some 30, 60, and some 100 times what was sown. We see 4 different types of people. There's one that they talk about in verse 14 and 15, where they come to the New Year's Eve service. They are sitting in this room right now, and they hear the word, and maybe they came for some ulterior motive. They just, they told me to come to church, so I'm going to come to church. That's what we do as Christians. We're little robots, and we don't actually build a relationship with God. We just come to come. And immediately after a word is declared that you can hear God and your life be changed, immediately the devil comes and snatch that word up because you go back immediately to focusing on something else. That's one group of people. Then there's a second group of people that might even be in this room right now. You hear this word, you came, you heard all things new, but you got some hard places in your heart. Some stuff, some life happenings have hardened your heart in a way that although the word comes, it's hard to penetrate. And the soil is shallow in that area. And it makes it hard for you to receive even the word that you heard, even though you were excited about it when you first heard it. Can I just talk to that person and tell you, let Daddy deal with the hard areas. Let him give you a heart of flesh again, that you might be able to receive his word, because his word is what gives us life. His word is what gives us life. Category 3 and 4 is particularly who I want to focus in on, because this is the people that I feel are church-going people that have been frustrated. Like, Daddy, I've been trusting you and I've been doing the thing that you told me to do, but why haven't I been seeing results? Where is my 30, 60-fold, 100-fold harvest at? Where is it? He says that the cares of the world, these worries, this, God, I know we need a bigger house, but you said you provide a way, but I'm going to just get 3 and 4 jobs so I can get this loan and just go and do it my way. The worries of this world. Well, if I do it this way, then what will people think of me? Worries of this world. If I feel you pulling me this way, but I don't go that way, then my crew that used to hang with me, they might not roll with me no more, or they might think I'm different now. Worries of this world. And then let's go to the deceitfulness of the wealth. Are we ever satisfied with where we are? Are we ever satisfied with what he's already provided? Or are we just like the world, always looking for more and more and more and more? And that ambition, that drive chokes the word that the Father has released to us. And so rather than being able to sit before, oh no, I got to go, I'm about my business, I got to get it. See, these are the things that come to choke the word. God is saying, be still enough, baby. The deceitfulness of this wealth, it will destroy you. It will demolish every word I will give to you. That's just two of them. The third thing he says is the desires for other things. You know, we all got these desires that we, because of our experiences, you know, I got to do it better than my mama did it for them. And, you know, well, I need this husband by this date because I wrote my calendar out and I forgot that he was the divine orchestrator of my life. And so I wrote my own story. You know, I'm 30 and I haven't got a ring put on it. So I'm going to just put myself out there a little bit more. I got desires that need to be met. They choke the word. He's told you already that I have a man that he who find a wife will find a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. But instead of holding that word, I depart from that word to go get out here and put myself out there a little bit more. Because I think logically this is the way. Man, many are the ways. He says, but only his way. Like all these other things will lead to destruction, but he'll lead you to life. You can get a husband with your own logic, but will you keep him? What will it be like to stay with him? The dangers of choosing your own way and allowing the word to be choked out by the cares of the world. God says, I desire today for y'all to move from category 3 into category 4. Category 4, these are the people that lifted their hands in full surrender and said, this time for real, God. You want me to black out and turn social media off? Yeah, my whole church is doing it. So I have a body of believers now that'll be with me. I won't even have to do it alone. You want me to black out social media? You want me to go on a 21-day fast? You want me to come to 6 for 2 every Tuesday and Thursday? Daddy, I'll do that to move the thorns away so that I can train my mind to not be conflicted by the worries of this life, the deceitfulness of wealth, and the desires that I used to have. Daddy, I want the desires that you will give me. See, you don't understand prayer and fasting. It centers you in a way that you'll focus in on what God wants more than what you want. Oh, you thought you were just pushing back your plate to get skinny. I'm telling you, God will give you much more than skinny, baby. He'll give you much more than skinny. He said, I'm giving you a word that I want you to hear and not just hear, but accept. What does it mean to really accept his word? The word itself means to fully depend on, to count on it. Do you depend and count on the way that he wants to bring all things new in your life? Have you fully given yourself to, well, God, I thought all things new was like this, but I feel you want to do all things new like this, and I'll give my way over in full surrender for you to do it your way. Would you hear the word, accept it, and allow him to produce newness in your life for the first time? He wants us to bear fruit. He wants us to yield a harvest that starts here but continues to grow, the 30, the 60, the 100-fold. And the more you give, the more he'll give. The more you give of yourself, the more he'll give of himself. Listen, I'm telling you, even in this moment, I've been doing this preaching thing for some time, and I just believe in real transparency because I believe that free people free people. It's been a real scary thing for me to step away from my iPad sometimes because if I don't keep the track, then I might get off track, and then it might not make no sense, and my reputation matter. You know, I got to make sense, right? It's about making sure, you know, I do a little bit of God. I give him the 30, but I don't go to the 60 or the 100. I'm telling you. All things new may mean that if he say close it, you close it. All things new may mean if he say move to a whole nother state, that you depart from everything, even if it don't make sense. All things new might mean that that job that you thought was yours, it might shut down. And you might have to believe him to be a provider in a time where you don't have one. You never know what all things mean. All things new mean. But will you trust his way over your way? Is anybody tired of your own way? If you are, let me hear you make some noise. If you're tired of your own way, let me hear you make some noise. What has your own way yielded for you? Where has it taken you? Where has it left you? God tells us over and over again through his word. He says, my ways are not your ways, nor my thoughts your thoughts. He says to lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge me, and he'll do what? He'll direct your path. I will show you the way to all things new. But we keep leaning back to the way that's been comfortable, doing it a way that seems familiar or logical. Well, you know, logically, that just don't make sense. I didn't ask you for your logic. I asked you for faith. Give me faith. Give me faith. Give me faith. God said, I'm able to do all things, and I do them well. If you have need of me, I'll show up every time. Let's stand to your feet. God, we thank you in this moment that you are able to make all things new. And I just decree in this room, God, that we won't be like the people that are in category 1, 2, or 3. We won't let this word be snatched. We won't let this word be taken away because our heart is hardened. We will not let the cares of this world, the thorns of this world, choke the word that you deposited today. We'll hear your word, Father. We'll accept your word. And we will believe that you will yield a harvest. The Bible talks about that those that believe his word, he calls them blessed. And he promised to bring to fulfillment those things which he says in Luke 1 and 45. I'm just telling you, God, today, if I have to be the start of this thing, I believe your way more than my way. And I believe your way is contagious. I believe if the fire on the inside of me gets hot enough that it'll set this whole room on fire. I believe that if there even just 1 or 2 people join me, Father, believe in your way, we could change the whole city of Columbia and abroad. I believe that marriages will be resurrected by choosing your way, Father. Even, Father, the early church had to make this choice. They had to make this choice that they weren't initially called Christians, Father. They were called followers of the way, Father. And not just followers of the way, but followers of the new way. Because as a result of encountering you, they thought differently. They loved differently. Every aspect of their life, Father, was different. And we decide today that we won't follow our way. We will choose to follow the way to new life. If anybody wants new life, would you just give God glory in this room? Would you give God praise in this room to be the sign of permission for him to have his way? Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Pastor Travis.
I'm Pastor Jackie.
We are with Port City Church, and we wanted to come and thank you for watching this week's message.
We love you so much. We hope that you were blessed by something that you saw or heard.
Yeah, I'm praying that you were inspired to live and to move forward. Hey, whenever you're in the Columbia, South Carolina area, make sure you come visit us, 1955 LeGrand Road. We can't wait to worship with you. Got nothing but love for you. Remember, your past is gone. Your future is waiting.
Move forward.
And move forward.